Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadar, Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadar. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadar, Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadar. I will sing unto God a new song. Shabbat Shalom.
And Shabbat Shalom, everyone who's joining us online as well. And a special thank you, of course, to our Temple Emanu-El members. Without you, we could not be here. So thank you so much. I'm Rabbi Rachel Miller. This is Dr. Artie Gummer on the guitar and with a beautiful voice. Right now, for those joining on Facebook, the prayer sheet is being pinned into our Facebook feed. You just go page after page, and you are good to go. In here, we will be using, it looks like you all found it, our Mishkan Tefillah. It is underneath your seat. Per CDC guidelines, it is optional to wear a mask if you are vaccinated, and we ask that you wear a mask if you are unvaccinated. Should you need to leave this space, you can head out to my left, head out to my right, or there's also an exit behind you. Please, at this time, I know it might be new for some of us, go ahead and take out your phones to put them on silent. Silence your Apple Watches. I'll do it with you. There we go. And let's see. The next thing is something new that we also have gotten to do now that we are in person, which is take a minute, turn to a neighbor. I know it's like a little far, and wish people Shabbat Shalom. Everybody online, start saying Shabbat Shalom. And in just a few moments, we'll come back together. Go ahead, Artie. Go ahead. Share him.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadar. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadar. I will sing unto God a new song.
Thank you. And I think everybody is in a good spot, but if you could play musical chairs as you need to be able to be comfortable in your groups. And now, though, if you have your comfortable seat, I'll invite you to get comfortable. So maybe put your back against your chair, perhaps feet on the floor, flutter our eyes closed. And in doing this, it allows us to recognize that all the busy moving parts of the week, they're going to take a pause for the next hour or so. And that's going to let us to be present in this moment and to be present for Shabbat. So we'll do 3 deep breaths. Deep breath in. We let it out. Another deep breath. Let it out. This final breath, we enter Shabbat. Deep breath in. And we let it out. We flutter our eyes open. I'll invite you to turn to page 120. For those who haven't lit candles at home, now's a good time to do it with us. Everybody here, I'll invite you to do it when we get to Shalom Aleichem. But for now, page 120, please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kinishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We turn to page 142 with Shalom Aleichem, welcoming in our Sabbath angels. I invite you to light your own Shabbat candles to my left and to my right. And if you're not lighting candles, I invite you to please be seated.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malchei Anachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shuvachem l'shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 138, as gently as we welcomed the Sabbath angels, we match that in sort of vigor as we welcome our Sabbath bride, L'chadodi, page 138.
L'chadodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, בשם ותפארת בלי תהילה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני אלייך נגלה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise and face the door.
בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
We face forth.
l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
With that energy, we are ready to enter our service formally, our Ma'ariv service, Baruch Hu, page 146.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
As darkness rolls in, we pray words from Ma'ariv Aravim. Though they are not found in your prayer book, we roll into dark.
Holy
into dark,
roll into light,
roll into light.
night becomes day,
Night becomes day,
day turns to night,
day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Borei yom v'layla, Olei Lord mipnei kosher, Olei Lord mipnei kosher, v'chosher mipnei.
Roll into dark, roll into dark,
Roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night.
We start to get centered. We feel our feet on the floor. We prepare to declare God's oneness. Words of Shema, page 152.
Israel Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shem kavod malchuto le'olam va'ed. Shem kavod malchuto le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. Page 154. In just a moment, we will chant words from Ve'ahavta, the first phrase of which I'll mention in my sermon, so you'll catch it again. But it's a focus on, I want everybody to think about while you do this prayer, what does it mean when it says, love Adonai, your God, with all your heart? If we've never focused on the heart piece, that's what I want us to do tonight. We can think about our souls, we can think about our might, but tonight, let's think about our heart. Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'nibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your
Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way,
when you lie down, and when you rise.
I am therefore a sign upon your hand,
that they may
between your eyes.
write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise.
Page 158. So just as in the Ve'ahavta, we are talking about teach them faithfully unto your children, teach your children Judaism, teach them the laws, the values. In Micha Mocha, it says that your children witnessed your sovereignty, your being God, that the children witnessed God's sovereignty when the sea was splitting. And I think that's a reminder that we're all a little bit like children sometimes, and it's the children who find the miraculous when we're distracted, and it's the children who bring that innate spirituality. And so we do what they do. We look to witness God's presence in our world so that we can continually teach them lessons of our world. Micha Mocha 158.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha neder b'kodesh Torah tehilo tosei felet Torah tehilo tosei felet מלכותך ראו בניך, תוקע יום לפני משה. זה לי אנו ואמרו, זה לי אנו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, Norah tehilo dosei felet, Norah tehilo dosei felet, Norah tehilo Osef
Page 161. I'll have us join together in the English, and then we'll have the chance to sing words of Hashkivenu together. Please join with me, the bottom of the page. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomrei lechaim. 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 Ushmor tzeitzenu Chaim u'shalom me'ata v'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomrei lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomrei.
Page 162, our prayer for Shabbat, a prayer that tells us to rest. We don't have to think about it as sitting on our tuchus all day watching TV necessarily, although if that's how you want to rest that week, that's good. But it can be more than that. It doesn't have to be boring. It can be exciting. It can be with friends. It can just be a time to connect in person instead of with our screens, and to take 25 hours and just be in the moment. Vishamru, page 162.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam b'ritolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam b'ritolam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael Oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam b'ritolam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות ta Shabbat, Lidoro tamborit olam.
Get a little water here. Bless you. So something that I have learned throughout life is that y'all love your pets. Raise your hand if you have a pet. I'd say like 75%. Online, if you have a pet, you can share what pet you have. And you guys that have pets, you really love your animals. And it's a wonderful, wonderful bond to watch unfold. I mean, you'll wake up at wee hours in the morning if it's a new puppy. You pick up after them, you feed them, play with them. And in return, the good ones give you all kinds of love. And yet, that super adorable, cuddly creature, he is the same one who just peed on your favorite white shirt, ate your child's homework, and chewed through your brand new pair of slippers. I'm seeing some head nods. And suddenly you are infuriated. But within moments of getting caught, the dog looks at you with that sweet face. And you just can't seem to hold on to that anger for very long. Even though you're about to spend the next few hours trying to figure out how to remove the stain, how to have your child finish their homework, and how you got to go on Amazon and get some new slippers. But the anger, it doesn't sit with you for too long the moment that puppy or that dog or that cat looks at you in the face. And you tell them that what they did wrong, that you're not happy about it, and you ask that they not do it again. If only all of our relationships could be so simple. This week's Torah portion, and it's the final book of Torah, Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy, the first name of the first portion, Devarim. It begins with Moses' final marathon of speeches to the Israelites right before they head into the Promised Land. And the text reflects the journey from slavery to time in the wilderness as they journey towards Canaan, with a few details and laws sprinkled in between. And as Moses, particularly in this portion, as Moses speaks to the people, his recollection of the journey isn't always matter-of-fact or positive. Sometimes he describes an insurmountable amount of exhaustion and even anger. So here are a few of his exhaustive words. So when he says y'all or you, he's speaking to the Israelites, and he's from the south because he says y'all. So he says, I cannot bear the burden of y'all by myself. You Israelites, you sulked in your tents and said, it is because of God. It's because God hates us that he brought us out of the land of Egypt to hand us over to the Amorites to wipe us out. Because of all of y'all, the Eternal was angry with me. And God said, you shall not enter the land either, speaking to Moses. So that's just the exhaustion. And then comes the anger just a little bit later. And he says, but God was wrathful with me because of all of you, and God would not listen to me. God said to me, enough, never speak to me of this matter again. So Moses, a religious leader, we may clearly understand his anger with the Israelites, but in these texts, there's also anger with God. In the parental relationship between God and Moses, we can draw parallels to our own life. At some point, everyone here has been angry at a loved one for something big or small, or even that pet that you love so much. But a contemporary Torah scholar by the name of, she's Professor Aviva Zornberg, she points out that Moses' expression of anger shouldn't be shamed or looked down upon. Instead, it was much more profound, because Moses' expression of anger, it taught the Israelites that it was permissible to be angry with God, which throughout Torah, we know they had no problem doing. They complain, "Oi, this journey, it's taking so long. Oh, manna for dinner again. Oi, no water. Why didn't we just stay in Egypt?" Now, a blessing of Reform Judaism, of Judaism in general, and especially of Reform Judaism, is the permission to express anger to God, even to question our beliefs, while simultaneously maintaining a relationship with God. The questioning, the anger, these are elements of a full relationship. So perhaps you too can think of people in your life with whom you've been super duper angry, and yet you maintained the relationship with them because the bond was that important or powerful or meaningful to your life. And though I've been cheekily mentioning the relationship with a pet, I'm really talking here about relationships with our parents, with siblings, with friends. And the entire book of Deuteronomy is a reminder that it's okay to be angry, it's okay to complain, it's okay to be mad, but none of those things, none of those need to lead to the canceling or the walking out on a relationship. We know the Yiddish word kvetch. It's stuck around the Jewish people and has become a mainstream understood word for a reason. Like, we complain a little, it's okay. But it comes from, we can connect it back to Torah, that complaining. Because there is a lot of complaining, not just from the Israelites, but from the man leading them along, Moses. And so perhaps we got known for this complaining because we read a sacred text every year that doesn't shy away from publishing its complaints. Now, in addition to summarizing the many complaints of Moses and the Jewish people, the text also has a very important addition not found anywhere before this point in the Torah. And the addition is, that piece that I was asking you to think about, is to love, it's the commandment to love God with all your heart. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart. We've been asked before to obey, to honor, and to follow God, but Professor Zornberg raised up for me that we've never yet before been able to love God or been asked to love God with all of our hearts. She writes, you can't love someone wholeheartedly with all your heart let me start over, because if I mess it up, then it's wrong. You can't love someone wholeheartedly, meaning with all your heart, if you are afraid to be angry with them. Let me say it one more time. So you can't love someone wholeheartedly if you are afraid to be angry with them. The idea is, if we don't express our anger, the full spectrum of our emotions towards someone when we feel it, then it might mean that we don't care, that there is an apathy in the relationship, that we don't trust them enough to let them hear our anger so that we can heal and repair our bond. And please note, of course, I'm speaking about relationships and bonds and friendships that have never crossed an abusive line. So take, for example, those relationships and friendships that have ended because one party was furious with the other, and yet the angry person, they stopped talking to the other party without even ever letting them know that they were mad at them. So when the reason is pride or apathy, it's a sign that perhaps the bond was not strong enough, that the relationship wasn't worth saving. But if you're sitting here and thinking of one of those kinds of friendships that you've had in the past, and you miss that person, perhaps the love and bond is stronger than you thought, and the time is ripe to reach out to tell them how they made you feel and begin a road toward healing and renewed friendship. Friends, the high holy days are less than 2 months away. You can start now. And just as I imagine that everyone in this room has been angry with another person, I imagine that everyone in this room and online has also been angry at God at some point, whatever God means to you. And in that anger, perhaps there was even guilt for holding the anger toward God. But there are lots of wrongs in the world for us to direct our anger toward God. Sick children, ongoing hunger, natural disasters, life isn't fair. We can think of other things on this list. And so I'm talking about those moments when we shout to the heavens, why me, why me? And yet, simultaneously, we just might feel the holiness of relationship as people in our lives step up to help. The God in those moments of comfort, and the God in the why me moments, that is the same God. That's an honest relationship. We can be angry at someone and continue to love them. Moses gives us permission to be angry with God, and he reminds us to not only obey, honor, and follow God, but to love God with all of our hearts, even when we're angry, because love still resides even with the anger. The full spectrum of healthy emotions is what makes a meaningful relationship between people. And it is what can make a meaningful relationship between us and the divine, as long as we're willing to open our hearts to forming the bond. Shabbat Shalom. We will turn back into our prayer books. Page 166. I'll invite you to rise as we do a little repetitive singing of that first prayer, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Please, God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Please rise.
Ananana Sfatai Tiftach Ananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Ananana Adonai Ananana Sfatai Tiftach Ananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha
Ananana Adonai Ananana Sfatai Tiftach Ananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem Lema'an Shemo B'Ahava Melech Choser U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai
מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We take a few moments for silent prayer and reflection. You can continue with the words of the book or the prayers of your heart. When you've completed your prayers, I invite you to please be seated.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
178.
כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. 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 תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
On behalf of
Edie Disner and Robert Wittenstein, our co-presidents. Robert is here, he can wave. Of our Board of Trustees, it is time for a few announcements. So tomorrow night at 8:45 p.m., although you can get there at 8:30 for schmoozing, Congregation Etz Chaim, the conservative congregation in East Cobb, is hosting all of the North Atlanta congregations for the holiday of Tisha B'Av, commemorating the destructions of the first and second temple. And today, still applicable to our lives as we know that there is still sinat chinam, senseless hatred in the world, which is said to be the cause of those destructions. So I invite you to join not only with Temple Emanu-El, but with all of the OTP outside of the perimeter congregations. That's at 8:45. And then on Sunday, I didn't check, is there softball? No softball this Sunday. Do not go to softball. And then on Wednesday, we will have our Lunch and Learn. Those are now in person and online, 12 o'clock. I don't know the subject, but I'm sure whatever it is, it will be wonderful. And if you haven't attended yet, now's the time. I think that, did I get it all? Okay, cool. So the other wonderful thing is those of you who are online for coming to your services as a part of your bar bat mitzvah, please start to tell us the good things going on in your life. And here too, we have the chance to share the wonderful things going on in our lives. And we're back to, if you're comfortable, passing around the microphone. If I can just get like one of these little guys, and Robert will find you to share the good stuff going on.
Our daughter's coming in to visit us from London for the first time since she moved there in December, so we're very excited.
Wonderful, wonderful. Safe travels for her. Oh, and say who you are. Say who you are.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Beth Hathaway, and this week we got to see, actually today, our daughter who is hiding back here, but she did her theater debut as Flotsam in The Little Mermaid Jr., and it was just so wonderful seeing her live on stage. So.
Great.
Good job, Jocelyn.
Hi, I'm Susan Wittenstein, and this week I celebrated a birthday, but what was really cool was that I got to spend the day with my mother, and she got to sing to me, which is a real treat, and I also got to have a birthday celebration 2 days before with my siblings, so that was a lot of fun.
Thank you, thank you. And happy birthday, yes.
Hi, I'm Rich Lappin, and I had the pleasure of meeting cousins for the first time on my mother's side that I'd never gotten to meet before.
Wow.
And it was a great trip up to Tennessee to visit them and spend time with them.
Wonderful, very neat.
I'm going to Dallas tomorrow, and I'm going to be with my children there who live there, and I'll be seeing my adorable little great-grandbaby.
Oh, wonderful. Mazal tov, mazal tov.
The last one? There we go. Last one. What's your name?
Oh, hi, I'm Jolie, and my brother's coming home from his camp this Sunday.
And we're going to see Jolie's grandparents on Thursday.
Awesome, wonderful. You got one this week?
Yep, I do. I'm
Go for
Artie
it.
Gummer, and I'm thankful for the congregation, for you guys, because next week Cantor Desnick will be returning. She'll be coming back with her full voice and beautiful music and be able to lead our congregation in music. I'm also thankful for myself to the congregation and to the clergy for allowing me to have this opportunity to help lead music the last few months. It's been a real joy, especially those Saturday night Havdalah sing-alongs, and I hope that I've been able to bring some joy to people in the congregation. And I'm also thankful to my family for being so supportive and being there for me for when I've spent all the time here.
Amen, amen. And we thank you, and it's been such a treat, as I know they know, and I know, and Rabbi Max knows, and Rabbi Spike knows, so thank you. And for me, Rabbi Rachel, and I love my job. It is the greatest thing ever, and I am also going on vacation starting tomorrow. So I get to go see my family in Park City, And it'll be Zohara, our daughter's first time out there. So wish us luck on an airplane for 4 hours. So for all of these wonderful things, we'll join together in words of Shehechianu. If you want them, they're on page 648. But by the time you get there, we'll probably be done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
So the next thing we do in our service is our prayer for healing. And this week the transition is kind of interesting because we have Tisha B'Av on the way. And Tisha B'Av is one of those holidays where it's a mourning, M-O-U-R-N, type of holiday. And it moves from obviously the destruction, but before destruction there was goodness and happiness and unity. And then came the pain and destruction, and today, we have the state of Israel, but there's still work to do. And in many ways, that's the cycle of healing. And so we keep the whole unity of the Jewish people in mind as we also think about those who are in need of healing from mind, from body, spirit, and of course, relationship as well. So our congregation, we are especially thinking of Ina Slutsky, Jerry Penn, Sadie Geller, Sandy Geller, Brett Samsky, Arlene Marcus, Andy Rush, Marilyn Cohen, Mayor Ben Rachmiel Vedina, Gedabat Yosef Lev Miriam, Tara Cutler, Howard Ackerman, Ken Schiffer, William Friedman, Lisa Solonic, Helen Ray, Jan Misner, Ashish Sharma, Ludmila Coven, Brian Fiddleman, Mike Allpass, Marcia Stevenson, Elizabeth Strauss, Louis Cates, David Fine, and Hannah Hazen. If there is somebody that you are praying for the healing of this Shabbat, I invite you to share that name aloud as my eyes meet yours.
Bob Lightman, Moshe Blank.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We turn in our Sidurim, in our prayer books, to page 371. As we join together for words of Misha Berach, please rise. Because of our setup, I know you're sitting next to somebody you know, so if you'd like, put an arm around as we join together in these prayerful words.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Me'avotenu Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
We'll remain standing as we sanctify Shabbat with Kiddush on page 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kinishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha'shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. We'll remain standing once more, this time going back in our books, page 586, Aleinu L'Shabeach. Aleinu L'Shabeach La'adon HaKol, La'teit Gedula Liotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu K'gayei Haratzot, V'lo Samanu K'mishpachot Adama, Shelo Sam Chalkeinu Kahem, V'gohor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, V'anachnu Kor'im, Umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'nemar, V'haya Adonai L'melech, Al Kol Haaretz, Bayom Hahu, Bayom Hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echad. Please be seated. We've reached the point in our service where we recall the memories of loved ones who have died in recent days and those who have gone in seasons past. We're especially thinking of those who are the family members observing Shloshim, for Jill Chalif and Julius Simon, and for those observing Yartzites for Irma Axe, Robert Barenhout, Phyllis Dean Boxer, Rose Brown, Bob Busenik, Dean Budnick, Sadie Cantor, Raina Cohen, Ray Cohn, Gerald Froman, Jack Futterman, Francis Gaines, Hanley Green, Joel Hine, Dora Horowitz Howard, Esther Koff, Teresa Elkin Lesser, Emmanuel W. Michaels, Helen Pastman, Rio Pedersen, Adrian Perlis, Iris Pederseel, Jack Pulver, Mary Roseman, Leonard Seitzman, Philip Seldes, Raina Sarant, Abe Siegel, Celia Tobias, Robert Vender Eck, Sanford Whitney Watsman, Lawrence H. Weintraub, Benjamin Wilner. If there is a name that I've inadvertently left off or a name I've mispronounced, I invite you to please share that name at this time. If you are in a period of shloshim, the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise. If you are in the first year, Yud Bet, mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise. If on this Shabbat you are commemorating a yahrzeit, the death anniversary of a loved one, I invite you to please rise. And if it is your custom to rise for Mourner's Kaddish, as it is here at Temple Emanu-El, I invite you to do so now, page 598. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'amei amaya. Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Israel, v'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you'll join us for Oneg out